Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you again for joining us for another Dream Conversation. It is me, The Don B. That is at The Don B on all platforms where you can find me. I'm happy to be back once again. Shout out to Independent Dream Factory for putting all this together as always. Shout out to Studio D3 for our location. We are here, and also I want to shout out our sponsor, Del Toro Tequila. You can find that anywhere tequila is sold in Central Florida. Very excited to be partnered with this brand. It's awesome. Make sure you get your bottle. And yeah, we are here with another Dream Conversation. I have one of my favorite people that I've ever met in the world, period, of all places that I've lived. Very excited to welcome Mr. Warrington Etienne.
Thank you for having me, Don.
How you doing, bud?
I'm well.
Welcome.
How are you?
I am doing good. Happy to have you in the spot.
Same here.
It's been a long time coming.
It has.
Been talking about this for a long time, and now we're finally getting to do it. So yeah. I'm excited.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Absolutely. First, I really want to, I know we're going to talk a lot about your single, All I Really Want Is You, and get into the background of that, but I really want to just, first, before we even get started, kind of give you your flowers as far as just like who you are as a person, especially to me and the team.
Okay.
A little personal story. When I first moved to Orlando, I don't even know if you know this, but you were literally the first person that I met in the industry as it goes, like as a whole.
I think I remember you telling me that, but I think I forgot.
Yeah, I moved down here, and I was shout out to Fierce Entertainment.
Yes.
I reached out to them when I first moved here, like, hey, I'm new in town. I'm a stylist. I'm an event coordinator. I would love to help with, your Orlando International Fashion Week any way that I can. I'll be a dresser, whatever you got. Sign me up. And they were very gracious to me, gave me an opportunity. We're like, yeah, come help us out. And so they invited me to, I think it was like a fitting or something like that we were doing.
Right.
And Londa Masani, shout out to one of my favorite designers. She was one of the designers there, and you were one of her models.
Yes, I was.
And you were the first person there. I was the first person in the building. Like, I was so excited to be there. I made sure I got there, like, I'm not going to be late. Like, the people, the hosts weren't even there yet.
Yeah.
And I was just there in the mall, like, all right, what's going to happen? And then you got there. And then Londa came after that.
Yeah.
And just meeting you, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
We were just sitting there waiting for Londa to get there to start your fitting and all that. But just like your welcoming energy and your like excitement to be there, and just like the inspiration that I got from just meeting you.
Right.
It was the equivalent of like when you're a kid and you're at a new school and you don't know anybody yet. You're in the cafeteria and like the cool guy comes over and talks to you. It's just like, oh my God, I have friends. So like that was really big for me when I moved here, and it gave me like, I don't want to say an unrealistic expectation of like industry people, but I was like, wow, I hope everybody is like this.
Absolutely,
is like authentic and genuine and just a nice person. So
it's very sentimental. It's very sentimental when you say that. I remember Fierce Entertainment because honestly, I've done like other smaller gigs, but I never did a gig like Fierce Entertainment. That was huge. When we met up in the mall. And then I got a hold of, Londa Masani. Like that whole process, I'll always remember because it's like that was like the first time where it felt you probably didn't know because from the outside looking in, I'm used to it, right?
Oh yeah, and you might as well have been Tyson Beckford to me. I was like, oh, this is like a professional. I got to get myself together. This is the real deal here.
That's a big compliment because. For me, I'm always nervous, like shaking in my boots, but you have, I guess, the courage, and because you're passionate about, your artistic expression, you do it afraid, right? So that's
show up.
Yeah. So I was nervous too, you know what I mean, and but I really wanted to do it.
Yeah,
I really wanted to do it, and meeting you and her and just all the other designers, it was so much fun.
It was so much fun.
So it left a lasting impression, and that is a great memory.
Yeah,
it opened all these other doors. For us. So
that is a core memory for me specifically, especially moving here and getting to know people. And Londa too, she was really good to me during that time.
Yeah.
We worked on stuff together afterwards, and like just everybody I met in that moment, it was just kind of set the tone for like me wanting to stay down here and like really keep working at this. So that was really awesome. I just wanted to share that with the people because it was great. It was a great memory. But this is not about me. I want to share my story. It's all about you today. If we can start anywhere, I would want to say, could you define Warrington as an overall artist? Like, I know you act, you sing, you do everything. What's the word? The total package, TP.
You know,
But who would you describe yourself as? Like,
it's hard because, the definition of an artist, you know what I mean? To me, in my own opinion, is someone that is expressive and reactive to your creative expression. And, however you want to kind of define that. So I've just loved the arts, you know what I mean? And whether it's I'm acting, playing a character that I can relate to, I'm modeling for a designer that I trust and love, and I'm singing a song, that we've collectively created, and the words are just off the page. It's art, and it's like I gravitate to it, so it's expressive, So I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's you continue to move. The mind won't allow you to rest. So yeah.
Yeah. If you had to, I know this is like the worst question because I can't pick between my favorite things. I like this and I do that and I do that and I do that. Is it something? Do you always see yourself being a multi-hyphenate? Like, do you equally love all these things, or is it like, if this one thing takes off, I'm just going to focus on that? Or do you see yourself doing? I see you doing a million things. Yeah. But between the modeling, the singing, and the acting, is there like one love that's more powerful than the other one, or are they all created equal?
Yeah, that's a great question. So far I've always said music alongside acting, they play a race, definitely to my heart. With music, you can always find ways to connect with people musically. To tell, obviously still a form of storytelling, right? With musical elements that we play and portray. And acting, you find the similarities, because what people really want to see when they're watching, you play a character, is themselves. Yeah. You know what I mean? We want to have that relatability. And then, like, when it comes to modeling, it's like here's somebody's creative expression and fine-tuned, through clothing. Yeah. And what that represents to the colors, the saturation, like, that's all detailed. So I think I want to say maybe those two. Aside from all three, I do all three, and I try to excel at that. But I want to say probably, it's hard to say just which one, because I love all three. But definitely, if I had to pick, it would be there's a race for either the music and storytelling of acting.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
The answer I expected.
Yeah,
definitely. Who are your, I would say, getting into that, like between acting and singing and whatnot, who would you say like some of your biggest influences are? Like,
that's a mouthful.
Yeah. So we were just talking about legends before the camera was cut on. So
yes,
we're already going down that road. But I mean, is there anybody that you sat back and it was just like, I see that person, I'm going to do this now because of this. You know what I mean? Or this person inspired this. And
so growing up, obviously, right? There was always this bilingual and bicultural experience. My family is from Haiti. I'm of Haitian descent. So we have our wonderful compa music, and then growing up here, born in Brooklyn, then moving down here, raised here in Florida. So then I have that cultural experience as well. So those there's always been that, like I said, that bicultural, bilingual mix. And to answer your question, growing up, Michael,
of course,
the Jackson 5. Yeah, because first and foremost, I don't care how controversial people make out artists to be, but in that time, in that moment, time and place, you know, let alone him and his family played a big impact in my life. Because for as long as I can remember, it was it's what brought my whole family together. Like we listened to vinyl on the weekends if you did good at your spelling and your grammar and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I remember when my grandma, she has this you know, the fancy plastic chairs. They're all plastic. You can only like really sit on. Like maybe on a Sunday occasion. You know what I mean? Like it's for exclusive.
Nice. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe like Thanksgiving stuff. We would sit. When you know, like I said, we did good throughout the week. Whatever. After we did our chores, we would sit on Grandma's couch. And we had the privilege of listening to vinyl. So I would listen to, you know, Haitian music, to Jackson 5 Motown renditions of artists.
Oh yeah.
Aside from other artists like your Al Green, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was first and foremost. I got to think of it's Michael Jackson. He paved the way when MTV originally didn't even want African Americans to be on. You know what I mean? Him and the people that he networked with broke that that barrier, and our music, you know, our art, our creative expression, you know, came through, and that impacted me. Yeah. So there's many because again, you could look at, you know, I mean, we're talking about 80s and 90s, man. You know what I mean?
Everybody.
80s and 90s. So I mean, whether it's mainstream to underground. I mean, you got your pop to hip hop, and then your rap. I mean, we were honestly, our generation, we're the pioneers.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like millennials, like we
set the tone for everything that's like out in the landscape right now. Absolutely.
We totally have. So it's like, how can I not be affected by such great body of work?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now Michael is. I don't know if it's everybody, but for definitely our generation and our time. I mean, multiple generations, but for me, it was the same thing. Like it was growing up on the Jackson 5 and growing up in like the music video coming out and all of us sitting around the TV waiting to watch it together. And
right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we had the one where it's like I had to put the wire hanger behind it. You know what I mean? Like I'm so proud of that. You know what I mean? Like that sounds so like, oh my God. Like
no.
But I'm proud of that because we were part of that generation, and that kind of ties us into, you know, our family. You know what I mean? Because they definitely grew up like that. So it's like we've had that. Like we're like the last generation to kind of experience that before this whole digital, you know, platform world that we in now. So yeah. I
value that, man.
I value that. I value that, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say then? I mean, obviously we talk about Michael and legends and things, but what would be your like introduction into music? Like as far as like, I know we're gonna get. I got some questions about. The union for sure. We're gonna get into that. But was that your first foray into music, or where was your first like attempt in getting into this? Like, I can do this. I want to work towards this.
Yeah, I want to say definitely with the union. The union was a collective group of individuals, friends that we grew up with, you know, down the block and from school, and also two of the members from the Boys and Girls Club. You know, after school program.
2009.
So actually, it was. I want to say 2000, 2008. 2008. I think around 2009 is when we kind of. I got to look back at our first album. But because here was an opportunity that we've had to tell music. You know, we had myself, we had Jay Ricks, his name is Jermaine Hendricks, a childhood best friend down the block, like literally just down the street that I grew up from when I lived at my great-grandmother's house. And then from one of our church members, which was, well, my friend too, but first Jermaine's, Joe Way. He used to go by J Live. He was one of our rappers. So from him to Jay Pone, Jerron Serrano, I met him through his mother that used to be one of my coach for modeling. And then we had two other members, but then they left. So then it was just us. So yeah, we got an opportunity. You know, it was an indie record label called Flick a Switch Production.
Okay.
Yeah, like literally like flick a switch.
Oh wow.
And it was a small indie record label that took us on, and we grew. This is like our first time, so there were so many things that we didn't anticipate. So that really was the first time to be like, okay, so really this is what it's like. Oh man, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
It's a lot more than just music. Okay,
Yeah.
I actually gotta really exercise, and make sense of what I'm saying, and is it resonating, So yeah, it was the beginning. So the beginning is where most people quit.
Oh
The
yeah.
beginning was most people don't want to be recognized. And we embraced it. It's one of those things where it's just like, strap up your boots.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Surrender to the experience. And we did.
That's really awesome.
We did.
So you were on vocals. You had a rapper in there too. Like
Yeah. So I was the only vocalist, singer, and then all the other 3 members, they rapped.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Of course, we would share each other, background vocals. Some of them will, match my bassy, voice. A baritone E2 to D4. So we would try to harmonize that together. But for the most part, they would. Yeah,
Just
they
be
would
rapping.
definitely rap. And
That is really
the lead
cool.
singer.
I saw the pictures when you sent them over, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I got to get into this."
Man,
It was iconic.
see the hair?
Yeah, the fro. Yeah,
Man, I
look
rocked that all through
And you
high school and a
haven't
little
aged
college days.
good. Minutes. Like it's the exact same face, just different hair.
Yeah,
It's like,
Yeah.
this could be taken yesterday. This is crazy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to. We don't do numbers on here, so I'm not gonna ask you how old you were. But
I don't mind. Oh gosh, how old was I? Oh, look. Oh yeah, there's the.
Just throw
Listen,
back.
look at that.
Look at that.
That's a good question. I really have to think because I graduated first in high school, 2006. But then when we got signed, right? Like I said, what did I say? 2008, 2009. So 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was young 20s, maybe 21, 22, 23
Yeah.
when we really got started.
That's
And,
awesome. That's an iconic picture right there.
Oh my goodness. I don't even remember where we were when we took that, but yeah. Probably one of our performances outside, because we did some local touring around Southwest Florida. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna bring up. I have a question later on about like advice for like people getting into the industry, but I was gonna say, do you have any advice to give to that young Warrington first breaking into the scene? Like anything you would say now where you are, like
what would I say to my younger self?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Again, surrender to the experience. Be led by your spirit. And what does that mean, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the word inspiration, it has the word in spirit. That's what you continue.
Wow, I never thought of that. Yeah.
That's what you want to be led by. Because when you come from that being your greatest strength and source, it'll sustain you through the ups and downs. Because man, you're gonna go through it.
Oh yeah.
Growing means enduring pain. So why we shy away from it, and we have the science to prove that whether it's trauma or whatever, we typically try to stay away from it. We really need to grow though. It's growing pains. So my younger self, I would say, again, have courage, and courage means allowing yourself to be afraid but acting anyways. So surrender to the experience.
Yeah.
You want Warrington.
Yeah.
Surrender to the experience and just be led by the spirit, man.
That's beautiful advice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that advice.
Yeah,
That was great.
man.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we're waiting to get into it. Let's get into the music.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
First, before I get into All I Really Want Is You, I wanted to talk just about your sound in general. Because this is the follow up to November, which was the single you released before that.
That's right.
which
That's right.
I love.
November,
personally.
man.
Yeah.
Woo!
Love
Before you
it.
know it, it's November too.
Yeah, it's coming up. So I'm add it back to my playlist. It's coming up. But that was a beautiful song as well.
Thank you, man.
But
Thank
your
you.
sound is so unique. It has like, I hear R&B, I hear country inflections.
Yeah.
I hear a little folk. I also hear this like, but also it's like a main pop kind of like it can be a crossover pop sound as well. Like it sounds very like it's good on the ears. So all those genres mixed in like to the music. I was gonna say, do you see yourself in any specific genre, or what would you consider your style of music being?
It's amazing that you say that because I never think of genres when I'm creating. It just comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, it used to be a lot stronger when I was little, but I'll have dreams of the tone of the song that I hear. So I get the tone first before I get the lyrics.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I'll get the chorus first, the tone of the chorus way before
the melody.
The melody and everything. So and out from that just comes a genre. You know what I mean? Like you and other people tell me what genre it is, but unless we're deliberately, with the collective team, and it's like, no, we're going to do, a theme, and the theme is going to be an 80s, 90s kind of like rendition, and I have to stick to those elements.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But when you're being free,
just being free.
Yeah.
Just being free. And I mean, the pop that's in it is this. It's obviously a little bit of Michael. Like I said, like I have that pop with me. But the soul of it is definitely through. It's me growing up listening to a lot of the souls. You know what I mean? Like, like I was just saying, like Al Green. You know what I mean? And just like, I just love watching the reruns of Soul Train. So I think that played a big part with me. I was fortunate to grow up with my greats. And like I said, listening to vinyl and Haitian compa music, and I that affected me. So I think it spun from that. Like subconsciously, I'm creating maybe from that.
Yeah.
And then of course, my own personal experience of life. So I'm using personal inventory of experiences to add into it. So it just came from there.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, when listening to it, it sounds so authentic to you, but I can't pinpoint like, oh, this is so like I said, I heard tinges of all these different things,
That's
a little
awesome.
R&B, a little country, a little that, and I was like, I like it. It just sounds like you was exactly what I would expect to hear from like a Warrington track. Especially following November, it's just like, this is signature to you.
Thank you,
so
man.
It sounds really good. And that's hard to do these days, to have an original sound.
It really is. I guess it really is. And I say I guess because I'm not noticing it, but it's a testament when you tell me.
Yeah.
It's a testament when I go to work and I have a colleague says it to me, as well. So
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So let's get a little bit deeper into All I Really Want Is You. I want to know, what was the original inspiration for the track?
First of all,
true story, biography.
So first of all, the Marias is a band, right?
Okay.
They're a alternative indie band straight out of Los Angeles, right?
Okay.
The lead of the band is called Maria Zadora, but she goes by, or the group goes by the Marias.
Okay.
And I don't remember what I kind of remember. It was like, it was first, I think it was 2021, and then later 2022. That's when we started formulating our group to try to create this sound. But I heard her when I was listening to a whole mix of like alternative, indie music. I was listening to, who else I was listening to? I was listening to Men I Trust. You know what I mean? And Men I Trust, they're a well-known Canadian band.
Okay, you gotta put me onto them.
Yeah. You could save that. I'm telling you, Men I Trust, listen to them. Very cool. Like think of like calming house music.
Okay.
Okay. That's not obviously boring, but it's cool, calming, and somehow the Marias was in that same rendition on my YouTube kind of like playlist, and I fell absolutely in love with her and her voice. And I guess you could say I was like hypnotized.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I listened to the song because, of course, her and her producer, Josh Conway, they created that song first. They wrote those lyrics, right? And I fell in love with how she sounded. I fell in love with the instrumentation and let alone how it was directed. But I was so captivated and moved where I said, I have to do my own rendition. I don't know how I'm gonna get a hold of them, but mark my words, I'm gonna do my own rendition.
Oh yeah.
So say this with me. You have to get the permission
You have to get the permission
to do your own rendition.
to do your own rendition.
Let's say that
Absolutely.
again. You have to get the permission
Yeah.
to do your own rendition. So, back up a little bit for this for the backstory. It was like the summer, first 2021, and I'm listening to this song, right? And it was actually raining that day, right? So we know, you know, it was like, I don't know. I think it was like, I want to say it was like after July. So I think it was in the month of August, really.
Okay.
Not in the month of June, as it's sung. And I'm in my room, and I'm actually looking forward to, you know, creating the next best thing, because we just did November.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just like a while ago did November, and you know, so I was already kind of like, okay, you know, should I do, you know, another single that's individual, which is just way more cost effective. You know, when you're talking about an independent artist that had the privilege to work with other people, while I continue to make my portfolio and make a name for myself, you know, you have to really think about how you're going to approach this. Because albums, not that it's a lost, dying art, but it's more cost effective, right? And it hurts me less in my back pocket to do singles as opposed to albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the idea was always do a single like it's an album. You know what I mean? Like just cool marketing ideas.
Yeah. Marketing full on.
Full on, you know what I mean? It's like, is this an album or a single? But they're single. Because it's like, it's a safe way to, you know, rail in what you need to until really the ball gets rolling.
Yeah.
So once again, it was like the summer of 2021. I'm listening to the Marias, and then I heard All I Really Want Is You. I fell in love with that song. I've played it over 200 times. I said to myself, I have to do my own rendition, right? I don't know, you know, where to start, but you ask enough questions, you knock on enough doors, something's bound to open for you, right? So I got a hold of my producer that I was working with at the time, Andy Anderson, with VRS Studio. It's a modern private digital studio. And Andy Anderson is the founder of it, and he's the recording engineer. And I got to talking to him, and he told me, you know, there's steps to do this. So we want to approach this the right way, right? Because otherwise, then you're getting sued.
Yeah, yeah.
So
you got to get permission
to do your own rendition. So, you know, I was listening to him, and he told me what, you know, one of the things that you have to do is try to get a hold of them, go on their website, you know, try to figure out what ways you can contact them. So I got a hold of their mothership publishing license consultant named Connie Ashton.
Yes.
So I got a hold of Connie Ashton after going on their website and looking up. I think I even went on their BMI and started to look up, you know, who to contact when it comes to these things, right? So we had to talk first to Connie Ashton, and then Connie Ashton would then go back, speak to the band and their manager to have the clearance for me to do my own rendition of their music, right? So that was, you know,
yeah, so a lot of work.
and they got back to me in a very timely fashion.
Oh, nice.
Really nice, really nice. Obviously, really unexpected because I'm making a name for myself.
Yeah.
And they took the time to actually, email us back.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it was Connie Ashton, and then from there from there it was just like who you're gonna work with. You got to find the right producer. You got to find the right director. You got to how are we gonna film this? Kind of thing. But what was your question exactly? It was
no, I just wanted to we answered it. I wanted to know like the background of it, the conception, how we got here.
Yeah.
So I hope y'all are listening to this because this is the right way to go about things when you're trying to put your own version of something out. A lot of people just jump up and just record something or make something using people's tracks or whatever because they're inspired by it, which is great. But then you put it out and it eventually gets taken. You've seen it happen time and time again to even bigger artists.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Getting it completely removed, getting sued. People take their art seriously, so
you
got to go through the steps to get the permission
to do your own rendition. Because after talking to her too, I forgot to mention, she did mention to us that we have to get a hold of another agency, right? For licensing. So there's two types of licensings. When you're doing other people's song and your own renditions, there's a mechanical license and then a synchronizing license.
Okay.
And some of the differences is like mechanical licensing is when you're doing more of like a filming and production, and depending on how is it going to be on a platform like YouTube, is it going to be in a platform like Vivo, where you can generate some kind of monetization and stuff like that. You have to go and get the mechanical license. But if you want to do just you using your microphone or your cell phone to record yourself like that, you can get from the license company like a small little fee that you have to pay to make that legal.
Okay.
So at first they thought, it was going to be like that. But then I told them, no, we're going to do this like a production. You know what I mean? I already had the vision. I already had the ideas of it. So then that's when she said, okay, so you have 3 different agencies that you could talk to.
Okay.
She said Harry Fox, Songfile, and Easy Song. So out of those 3, I went with, I'm sorry, I cut you. I went with Easy Song. And Easy Song agents, I had agents Patrick Stewart and Aaron Green. Those were 2 agents that helped me get the ball rolling as far as legal documentation, paperwork. So they became my people. It was pretty cool. And my people got a hold of her people, and then after we got numbers squared away, documents squared away, which took a whole year, by the way, mind you. Right. So that whole year, while you're getting things legal, getting things planned out way before the filming day, because I talked to Connie Ashton when May of 2022. Mind you, I'm listening to the song "Falling in Love" with it more and more the year before that, right? Like the summer of 2021. So then, boom, then May 2022, we started talking after I got all my ducks in a row. Then then she got back to me really fast, in a timely fashion. And then from there, then we started to, decide, okay, these are the dates that we had that we're gonna shoot.
Yeah.
And the rest is history from there.
Greatness takes time.
Man.
I know it took a year.
Yeah.
But now, seeing the product, and we're going to get into the video and everything afterwards, but it takes time to do something. And it puts onto like a bigger scale, just like doing that solely for a living, like how much it really takes to put into products you really love. If you really want to do it and you want to do it with quality and do it the right way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because, obviously we're going to we're not just representing obviously ourselves, but we're representing them. So we want to do justice. We want to do right by this. You know what I mean? There's nothing amateur when you see the scale of what we shot, and it's like, my gosh, this is the biggest thing that I've been on yet. And it came out wonderfully. So there's a wonderful, miraculous circumstances that really help
Nice.
Yeah.
I do want to stay on the production
Yeah.
part first before we get into the video.
Yeah.
But I would say when you're in it and you're creating, and you're recording, and you're layering the backgrounds and all this stuff, from like start to finish, when do you know it's done? Like, I know as artists and creatives, you can listen to it over and over and always find something to tweak or what. When did you get to the point where you were like, this is ready for the world?
Yeah.
Are you at that point? Do you want to go back and retweet?
Right. So honestly, the real answer to it is you have to just stop yourself, because obviously that's part of the creative aspects that drains us out, right? Because we can like nitpick and just tinker away.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes even too much. So it does help to have like other people in your corner, right? This collaborative, orchestrated, beautiful, chaotic, art to be like, okay, we got to set dates, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna work on this. These are the days you're gonna be in the studio, and you only have it's putting a due date.
Yeah.
Because there is no ending if you're talking about the musical aspect of what music elements am I going to use.
Yeah.
You can add so much more, and there's different layers, obviously, in it, and there's you can keep going. There's no really end, but you have to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to pull the plug, get it out there.
Yeah. You would think, if it'll be oversaturated, but really, if you have a great music engineer, and then and you're done, mixing and mastering it, what you think might be oversaturated just works even more, so. Yeah, you just have to
you got to feel it.
Yeah,
you got to be in the spirit.
Yes,
let that lead. Yeah,
exactly.
The production is amazing. Who did you say what the producer was again?
The producer so there's many different producers.
Obviously, because you have the production of the original, right?
I have a list of producers and directors that did this. I mean, the official video director was Damien Apazar. Damien was a director that I felt best for this. I remember giving him a call. I was so excited. And I remember giving him, I was like, I think what I normally do when I call Damien, because when I left my acting school out in Tampa, I used to drive to my acting school out there like 2 to 3 nights every day. Every week. And that was like, from where I lived, like 2 to 3 hours away.
Yeah.
And we had to be in class, at least 2 to 3 days a week. Otherwise, you'll, get like the boot. You won't be a student there. And he came from the same school that I came out of, but he got into obviously directing and producing aspect versus the acting side, which is so beautiful, anyways. Because most directors should. I can't say the word should, but it would help. Because I'm very wary using that word should.
Yeah, yeah.
But it helps significantly if you go in a class to understand how actors and actresses think before you hire them. Where what our process are, and where we come from. So he always believed me, and we, our relationship started after, a lot of college shorts, and then pretty much from there, he was like one of the first persons I thought of about doing this. And there were others that I thought of possibly, would work with, but it really, like I said, like the serendipity of things, it went to him, which I'm so glad,
right with him.
Because really he was the one amongst the others that picked me for other indie projects and college projects. He was the one that really still believes in me. So I got a hold of Damien, and I remember just he knows when I have something because he hears the energy from the phone, and then I'm like, dude, I'm gonna send you these files. I'll YouTube this thing to you. Listen to it whenever you have time. I know you're a busy man, right? You get back to me. So, but to answer your question, how many producers? My gosh. So Damien, is a director slash producer. Then I had St. Louis. He was head of behind the scenes with his company, St. J Production. We had one sponsorship, Dunamis, which is a nice stellar wine. So that helped for production. What else did we had? I'm obviously one of the producers also, putting into it. The biggest thing that I've ever, collectively produced. A lot of producers, man.
Yeah.
A lot of producers, a lot of agents, because I had to work with licensing agents. You know what I mean? At least two of them, right? To get this out. So it took a whole
Takes a village.
group. You can see at the credits, at the bottom of the YouTube, or the behind the scenes. You can see the credits. It's a lot.
Speaking of that, I do want to make sure I plug that. You guys can see the making of the video on YouTube. It's amazing. Watching that clip, seeing everything, I feel like I was watching like MTV's makeup. Like, I mean, there's
remember those days?
Lighting techs and hair and makeup and wardrobe and like assistant director and so many things going on. And I'm in the creative world, so I love all that stuff. But the average person doesn't really know how much goes into creating a video and like your art and things that you're proud of. So like from scouting the location and like getting all the people in place, what was, if you can sum it up, what was that process like? Was that, I mean, it's exciting because it's something you want to work on, but I know it's a lot of work.
I thank God for one of our ADs, Samantha Grant. She helped out a lot. We were scouting on everything, Airbnb, word of mouth. I mean, we were looking everywhere, every app that you can think of, and we found this beautiful Spanish mansion out in Pasadena.
It is beautiful.
It's like, what? And we looked everywhere, and we couldn't find anything for months. And that was our saving grace, that location, that house. So yeah, it does take a lot. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know unless they watch behind the scenes, unless you invest to find out the info. You're not gonna know. Yeah,
that's why I want to encourage you to go look at it. It was just it's really cool to see all the moving parts kind of working together to create something really huge.
Thank you.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you're doing it the right way. Speaking of the song itself, I feel like the vibe of it is very like, you can hear the emotion in the track, like very heavy. It comes immediately, sets the tone, sets the mood. When I'm hearing it, I feel like I don't even have anybody, and I feel like I'm singing it to like a significant other in the near future. It's like my affirmation. But I would say, like, with your ties to the acting world and all that stuff, was this something you would shop to, like maybe like a series? I think it would be great on a soundtrack.
Oh my God! Look, what we always, the whole goal, right, is to be available. For what, even if it's for commercialized product, let alone soundtrack or TV, right? Big screen, small screen, silver screen. We wanted to work at that level of that caliber to say this is available. So if somebody does decide to use this, you know what I mean, for what in limited perpetuity, whatever, like we can do. It's available. It's ready. You know what I mean.
It has to happen. It's in my brain. I see myself sitting on the couch watching like a Shonda Rhimes drama or something like that, and then like there's a big moment with a couple having a breakup or a moment.
It brings you down automatically,
and then just break down. This comes in and it's just going. Like, that is how I make sure. Like every time I hear it, I'm like, this sounds like it should be on a TV show.
Oh man.
Yeah, from our lips to God's ears, it's going to get there. Once you put it out there, it's going to get picked
Magnify
up. But, or on something you're working on. You're in your acting bag. And really in it too, not just people, I act or whatever. Like you are really with the union,
SAG,
like,
we're trying.
You're really out here working and pursuing it.
Trying, man. Just it's the process, they call it. The process. Oh gosh, the process.
Any kind of, not to get off the music, but like with the acting, is there any kind of like dream role or like any kind of thing you want to do? Like maybe like would you want to like portray somebody's life story or something, or would you want to be an action, musical?
The whole part of acting is reacting to things that you've been accustomed to. I always say something that's relatable. If I have the script in my hand or the sides and I'm weeping by the end of the page, or I can't put it down from the first page, right? I'm emotionally invested into this character. I know this character.
Yeah.
This character right here, this was me 10 years ago. Oh, no, this character right here is my brother. No, this character right here, oh, man. Like, that's what makes it all worth the while. Now, obviously, not every project that you take upon is going to, consist of that. So you really, it means something more when you do.
Yeah.
So, and you mix, you know what I mean? Like you stretch, you mix yourself in a wide range, because at least I don't think anybody wants to be a one-note song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want to stretch into other things. And we were always like taught in school to stretch. If you can dance, dance.
Yeah.
If you can write. If you can sing, sing. At times, yes, does it get exhausted? Undeniably exhausting. But it's still coming from a space of passion, great passion.
Yeah.
And from that, you draw more strength. And then when you find something that's way more relatable, then you find out you have strength that you didn't even know that, was reserved for it.
That's the battery for sure.
That's the battery, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Back to music. I don't want to get off of All Everyone Is You.
Yeah.
Is there any more? It's complete. It's out there, streaming on all platforms.
All different platforms. Amazon.
Is there any more development on that single that you want to do? Like, do you want to do? And I would love to see a fully realized like band, or even like with strings and like all the instruments, because the production is so lush on it. I'm like, well, I want to hear like this live. I would love to just go whenever the Warrington Tiny Desk comes. This song has to be in that. Anything like that? Would you want to do it with like live instruments or kind of performance of it?
Absolutely. We would again consult the Marias and figure out what we're allowed to do.
Yeah.
But absolutely, I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we get an opportunity to do it, count us in.
Yeah.
Yep.
We gotta get that on stage.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song so much.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I think my next question, we kind of already covered it, but I did want to get, I know we talked about focusing on singles and anything like that. So like a full-length album is not something that you would want to work on right now, or is it something you see in the future?
Definitely I see in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you can put all your eggs in one basket, but we've seen the historical charts and examples of sometimes when that happens. And obviously there's success into taking risk, but the ideal is to take calculated risk.
Yeah.
So I want to be meticulous. I want to be, able to really know, how I can do this while still, surviving out here. You know what I mean? Because there's other means. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So singles that are, projected like their albums. But yeah, in the future, sure, absolutely, because I have a whole composition of songs, waiting to be heard, waiting to be produced.
I believe that is a good segue to my next question, because I want to talk about like the future. Like, is there like we talk about dream acting and stuff, but like for music, like dream products, or as a fan, I would love to see a Warrington take on like a standard, some kind of classic. I'm talking like Nat King Cole, or like Sammy Davis Jr., like those old like Rat Pack songs, like something like that. I would love to hear your take on it. I feel like you have this like old school, old Hollywood kind of regalness. Like I feel like it's not, everybody doesn't have that. You know what I mean? I feel like you come from that world of just like, I don't know, just like that stand-up, polished, like professional. And I would love to hear how you would sound like doing some kind of an old school, like classic kind of standard or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I would venture into it. You know what I mean? Especially, using a page from my book. You know what I mean? I'll put the vocals behind the words.
Yeah.
And it'll will make it sound as soulful as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh yeah, man. I would love to.
I definitely see it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spiral off into brainstorming. Ideas
oh man,
and all kinds of
ideas,
stuff.
right?
But
I
yeah,
know.
I'm just a genuine fan, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what could I see? And yeah, whatever you put out, I'm going to
Yeah.
enjoy.
Thank you.
But I think that will be
Yeah.
something really cool. It's like anything. I don't know. I just feel like
That would be
your
dope.
style of
be dope.
something, not in the style of the old school, but just like kind of a classic, putting
Yeah.
your touch on it, your inspiration for it.
Absolutely. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you just made me think of, Lady Gaga came out with a song with Bruno Mars.
Oh,
And
I
they
love that song
used,
so much.
right, like,
Yeah. That
like
was a smile.
time and place, you look at it and it's like 70s, right?
70s.
Yo!
Yeah, this could have been
brought
recorded
it
40
back.
years ago.
Right.
And it sounds, but it
And
still
it-
sounds current.
Right, modern, right?
Yeah.
Sounds very, you know what I mean? Like, how can you not?
That was a great example.
Great example.
Yeah.
Great example. How can you not fall in love with not just the vocals, but then when you see the music video and you see what it consists of, you're like, yo. So something like that,
Yeah.
oh, I would kill it too.
Oh, yeah, you would.
I
Absolutely.
would love to get into that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting towards the end of our conversation here. I
Yeah.
could talk to you all day.
Same.
I do want to get like, this might be kind of a woo-woo question, but like, what is Warrington's message to the world, right? So it's 50 years from now,
Oh,
people
yeah.
are listening to your music, they've seen your movies, like they're walking away feeling, what feeling do you want people to have when they reflect on your art? Like, is there a message overall that's like, that you are putting through, or?
Amongst the very different purposes that we all have, right, in our lives, as an artist, my purpose is to provoke thought, penetrate minds, and stimulate imagination.
Nice.
And one of my message is love above all else. We're meant to focus, and it's a different discipline to allow yourself to become. And what we do, we force people to see other people and know people, invest in people. That may be somebody that's prejudiced, maybe it's somebody that's racist, maybe it's somebody that's bigoted, wouldn't give two chance
Yeah.
of a thought, right? To give that person, an understanding, right? Because obviously we're dealing with a lot of different barriers, right? So one of my messages, love above all else. Love above all else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, beautiful message.
That's my focus. And I will continue to try to show that. Obviously, art is going to affect people differently. It should get people unsubscribed. It's going to make people not follow you. But that it's art.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to. It's supposed to
subjective.
move. It's very subjective, right? So it's an artist is supposed to move people by performance. So when we say move, it doesn't necessarily mean something maybe you like. It might provoke you, right? To really dig in and maybe in a space that you don't like, particular characteristics that, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We so
Create conversation.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that would be it. I will try my best to get that across the board, indie, underground, mainstream, whatever success that I can amount to, that's it. Love above all else, man.
Very well said.
Yeah.
And I want to say you are already doing that. Like, the message is already loud and clear.
I am.
Like I said in the beginning of this, there's just something about the kids are saying aura these days.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's the aura.
Riz.
And it really is. The Riz. Yeah. I've been on TikTok too much. I've been all these. But
I'm there now.
Seriously, like you have that, the way you carry yourself, the way you perform, there's
Thanks,
no
man.
Warrington horror stories. Like,
Thanks,
and we know people in this industry, and we've had our experiences, and this person did that, this person acts this way, don't mess with that person because they do this. Like, I've never heard anybody say a bad word about you.
Thank
like,
you,
everybody
man.
has a positive experience.
Thank you.
And it's genuine. It's not like a put on. It's not anything like that. And it's just that professionalism and that class is what's going to carry you all the way to wherever you want to go.
Thank you,
but
man.
I just want to say, if you ever have a doubt, that's already felt. The team feels it. That's why everyone was so excited to have you here today and talk to you. Like, we could not wait for this because, I feel like every time I'm talking to you, I'm like, I'm talking to Denzel Washington. Like, I got this video one day is going to be. There's only one Denzel. I gotta cherish this video because everyone's gonna want to see when I had this interview. Right. But yeah, it translates, and you should be very proud of that.
I thank you. I thank you for that. Like I said, I'm moved by the people that I watched and love. And if I come off like that, I'm thankful. I'm comical too. I like anybody that really knows me. They know that I like my adult comedy. Yeah. I'm just expressing who I am. And so if somebody
we
really
see your posts on Wednesdays. We see your
hump day posts. You know what I mean? Like, but it's still genuine. It's still me. You know what I mean? I hope that I can continue to be myself. Whereas it's
still on
not
brand.
Too
it's
creepy.
Still fun.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's my comedy, my very comical side. And I like adult comedy. And then there's just reverence of seriousness that I also have as well, because there's a multiplicity of different characters inside all of us. And again, it's my job to exercise my instrument, and not everybody else is going to understand that. Yeah. So I get that, but do they?
Yeah. The ones that get it will get it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You're going to have people
you're
going to have people that will understand you and follow you because it's you. And you're going to have people that won't follow you because they know it's you. So you just got to find your peoples and keep going,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This was an inspiration.
Yeah.
I am so glad we got to do this.
Thank you.
Before we get out of here, do we want to plug anything? You know what I mean? Obviously, push the single. You guys check it out on all platforms.
Yes, please. Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to just say to the world before we
take off? We're here because it's a 1 year already anniversary. Yeah. So I'm tremendously thankful for all the viewers that have ever followed me, even since the union days. You guys, I love you guys so much. Please continue to be understanding while I surrender myself to this experience, because it's a ride. And like you said before, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that more and more. There's a process to this, guys, and there's a season for everything. So if I could say anything to anyone, is continue to follow. You know what I mean, and see where the art takes us. But I will do my due diligence to show you my best, man. Cause we got stuff to say.
Oh yeah.
We got stuff to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
You want to share your socials where they can follow you?
Yes.
So they can see your hump day posts?
You can follow. Yes. You can follow me at Warrington _Etienne. Okay. That's WARRINGTON _ last name ETIENNE. And if you guys really want to know what that means, by the way, Etienne is French in Stephen. Just if you wanted to know that. So
wait, it's what? French?
So Etienne is actually Stephen. It means Stephen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep. And my first name. Not many people know this. Warrington. There's always symbolic meaning behind names, right? So my father was sitting in philosophy class in college, and he named me after the book. And when you define what Warrington means, it means like from far away on a farm, you see water, like almost like a mirage, like on the horizon. So that's actually what Warrington means.
Wow.
So Warrington Stevens really is.
That's a beautiful story,
Yeah.
and that's a great name. I've never heard that name before. I don't know any other Warringtons in the world.
Yeah.
It sounds like a star's name. Like, it's like so unique.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever asked you what the meaning of it before was.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. So you guys can find me on any and all the social media sites that we do have.
I love that. Well, on that note, we're going to get up out of here.
Right.
I thank you again for having us.
Same here.
We want to thank everybody that made this possible. First and foremost, Showstarter Media, Chris back there on the videography, hooking us up, always making us look beautiful up here. We appreciate you so much. Also, the Independent Dream Factory producing this, putting this together, and then our home, Studio D3. Definitely follow us on all platforms, Studio D3 on all platforms, Independent Dream Factory on all platforms. If you want to have a dream conversation and come join us and sit down, send us a message. We'll sit down, we'll talk about it, and we'll highlight you and what you have going on as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much again. It is me, The Don B. That's at The Don B on all platforms. Give me a follow, and let's keep the conversations going. We out.
Oh, that was perfect.